Hi everyone, I'm Christian, here with the Tanooki, and this is Jeron Moore, producer and creative lead for The Legend of Zelda, Symphony of the Goddesses, Second Quest.
Yes, sir.
So now we're here to talk about Second Quest. So can you tell us what it is and what did that require from you specifically as the creative lead?
You know, kind of in line with what Second Quest means to the Zelda franchise, which is sort of like, you know, in gaming culture, sort of a game plus mode. It's but specific to Zelda is it's sort of the idea of visiting familiar places but with new challenges, and so kind of in line with that, we've excised some of the material from the first season without touching the main themes. So we have the symphony in place, but have brought new material in various spots. I don't want to spoil it, but the idea is to like go on some new adventures and have a good time. And we've, you know, Chad and I kind of obsessively, you know, sort of check the forums and are reading people's comments, and you know, we have our finger on the pulse of I think what some of the biggest requests have been, and so we balance that with what we love and, you know, the things that we didn't get to do the first time. And that's what tonight's about, is getting to hear some new stuff.
Excellent. So we'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
Now, despite an additional season and a new program, is there anything that you're really itching to hopefully add at some point in the future that isn't already included?
Always. I mean, there's so much content in Zelda. You know, one of the things that I wish we could do, but we're unable to do, is explore the Capcom titles. That as of now is sort of off limits, but hopefully in the future we can. You know, A Link Between Worlds is coming out, and who knows what, aside from, like, I mean, we've heard some of the in-game music, and it sounds like they're doing some reduxes of classic tunes, but I'm sure there's going to be a wealth of new music in there as well. You know, we've got Zelda U coming out soon, and well, when it comes out,
right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's always something that we can do. Okay. That wasn't very specific.
Now you gotta keep your cards close.
Yeah, and you know, I'm in Second Quest mode, so you know, the stuff tonight is sort of like I just came off of doing that, so I'm really happy with the new material. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to hear what you think.
Looking forward to it. Now, I ran into you at Nintendo's E3 booth yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, were you about to play, surprise, surprise, Zelda?
Yep.
Now, I assume you tried both the new one and the remake. What'd you think of them?
I thought they were great. Wind Waker HD is beautiful. It's exactly what I was hoping. The early screenshots we got a few months ago, I liked them. But they've tweaked it even further and made some adjustments, and it looks like they've kind of like, you know, listened to the fans, or they just weren't quite there yet. And what I played yesterday is exactly what I wanted out of it. It's awesome. A Link Between Worlds looks really cool. I've watched a complete playthrough of the dungeon before, so it wasn't really anything. There wasn't a surprise for me, but getting able to feel it, it's silky smooth. It's going to be fun. I can't wait till it comes out.
Now, I actually just talked to Jason about possibly doing a full album based on Symphony of the Goddesses. What would you possibly do for that release?
You know, there is a huge demand for it. I would love to put together a 2-disc set that combines the first season and second season material. You know, about there's 80 minutes of material for each show. You know, about 85 minutes of material. We've added an additional about half hour, and removed that much from the first season to create. You know, it's actually a little longer. Second Quest is. So we'd be looking at like almost a 115-minute disc or album, which I think would be awesome. So it's just the hurdles with that and the hoops you have to jump through. It's all in the hands of Nintendo, and ready to do it, but you know, you got to get the okay from those guys.
Absolutely understand. Now, talk about the influence Symphony of the Goddesses is having on the younger generations, especially as many of them get to the age where they might start joining, performance ensembles in schools, despite many schools actually pushing core subjects at the expense of the fine arts.
I think it's what I see happening, and what we were hoping would happen, is that we're getting a lot of young kids into the symphony hall to hear music that they've heard before in the context of a video game, but it's kind of like, here, come for the video game, and we're gonna bait you with a video game, and in exchange we're gonna give you some culture, and the reception has just been tremendous. I can't tell you how many times we have young musicians or aspiring musicians come up and tell us, how this has inspired them to, go to the next level, or has inspired a career change, or maybe it's you get an 8-year-old kid. Last concert had an 8-year-old kid come up, and he said before he wanted to be an astronaut. Now he wants to be a trumpet player. It's kind of like, wow, that's awesome. You can do something with the trumpet. No, I'm kidding. I love NASA. I got some friends there. I mean, yeah, it's remarkable, and music. The music is really it touches our team's hearts, and there's a lot of passion that has gone into it. So I'm glad that's being felt. So.
Now, there are many musicians out there who don't consider game music or even film scores to be high art or as having enough substance. What would you say to them, or what would you do to encourage them to come see Symphony of the Goddesses and give it a chance?
I think that's changed. Honestly, I think that shift has already begun to happen. There are going to be closed-minded people out there, but again, the response is undeniable, and it's really not so much as appealing to those people as it is in creating a new audience that appreciates where those guys are coming from, but also understands the potential of the music and where it can go and what it can be. Because I don't know if Rachmaninoff were alive today, or Beethoven. Like I don't necessarily think that they would say this isn't an art form. I think they'd see it and go like, wow, this is awesome. And it's easy to get on your high horse. It's much harder path to actually look at something new and explore it and understand how it might be credible. So,
well, good for you. Now, what advice would you give to fans you've successfully inspired to consider a future in music or production industries?
Don't be afraid to make relationships, and develop connections, and be forward in what you want to do with your life, because that's what Chad and I have kind of done to get this to where it is. Enjoy video games, but get out and explore how those games are made. Exercise your creativity. There's the things that Onuma-san and Miyamoto-san do in their free time. Sure, they play games, but they explore life, and they pour all that back into what they do. And so I just think that's a really important component, and I think it's easy to get into fall into a loop. I know I have in the past, where you're just kind of hyper focused and playing, and you just kind of want to keep going, but if you want to get into the industry and you want to develop those skills, you got to be brave and take that leap of faith.
All right. Well, we're just about out of time. So, do you have any words for the fans as they come to see the second quest in the coming weeks?
Come out, have fun. We've got a lot of new music in store, and don't be afraid to say hi. Looking forward to seeing you there.
All right. Again, I'm Christian Ponte. This is Jeron Moore. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.